told him. I'm like, see, nigga, you in there, you don't fucking listen. I told you, dumbass, will stay in the house with your bitch. Now your bitch is gone. You fucked up. You gotta have it in jail.
Those are the people in the world. That's why we're here. We're here so he could see those people and not worry about them. You know, beautiful thing. I don't think he ever seen a trolley like that before. I let him just look at it. This way. There's no way to know what that sounds like to a dog. At least no way for me to know what that sounds like to a dog. Okay, so this is episode 3 with Asher, the very young, strong, handsome, excitable, reactive Doberman pincer. And today in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk Asher down the street, all the way down the street and around the way to the Ashmont station. So that way he's able to see dogs, he's able to see people, he's able to see different kinds of people the whole way along. In this video, you're gonna see us talk about walking on the street with the dog, how I'm handling him, and it's gonna show some of the progress that we've made. You're gonna see different situations where our dog's approaching, we're passing people, or people are interested in him, and how we handle a highly human reactive dog as well in that situation. Check out episode 2 and episode 1. Episode 2 is much more technical. Episode 1 is really an introduction to the bounciest Doberman around these parts, I guess I will say right now. We're considering doing a video blogs where every time a dog comes for board and train, we're gonna be making short clip together videos that's showing some of the process. If you're interested in that, if you like that kind of thing, please comment below so we know that we're making it for you. Here we go. Okay, so we're here in the illustrious kennel room for Argos. And in this kennel here, I have a dog and his name is Asher. Now, I already shot some things with for a YouTube channel with Asher, but I just wanna show you guys our process for getting out of the crate and out of the house. Because Asher is an extremely excitable dog, I want to set the tone, you know, from the very beginning with him. So he's pretty calm there in the crate. He's pretty quiet. I'm gonna grab some treats out of my trusty treat pouch here. Sometimes I call it a treat purse, but whatever. I'm gonna unlock. And I'm using the sidekick with him. I already have it set up for him to just walk right into it. The sidekick is a head halter. I think we have done videos on this tool before. I love this tool. The more I use it, the more I love it. So I have my food, I bring it here. He gets his nose in, I slide it down and into position. And now I'm just basically just lining everything up and getting it to the way that I like it. This does take a couple seconds, but it doesn't take that long. See, it's in position now, the way I like it. I'm gonna also attach the safety to the collar that he's wearing, and that's done. Now he has to wait, and he knows this. He has to wait until I tell him that he could come out of the crate, right? So he has to just sit there. He has to wait there until I tell him it's okay. Okay, buddy. Here he goes. He comes out, and I want to make sure. Oh, he's a little excited because Frank is there. He hasn't seen Frank in a little while. I want to make sure that that he sits and he's patient, calmly waiting for me, right? Now from here, I'm gonna head straight out because he's pretty calm. He's barking a little, woofing a little bit at Frank. I'm not concerned about that because if you look at him, he's real calm here. So we're gonna start walking out. Frank got this camera right in his face too. He's a little nervous about that. Let's go, let's get out of here. Excellent, good. And I'm communicating with him through tension and active release on the sidekick here. He's sitting, I'm gonna make sure he sits. And although Frank is here, he's a little bit more excited than he normally is, but I'm gonna wait until he's calm and he looks to me for direction moving forward, right? There he goes, let's go. All right, and now he's set. I think he's pretty good. We're gonna go out the back gate here. Our adventure today is gonna be going to Ashmont. Look at you. You're so much better than you were just a few days ago. Excellent. We're going to Ashmont Station to work with him around, live people. Some public access work really is what we want to do. But we have to get there, and we have to get there in the right way with the right amount of energy. Yeah, he really doesn't like Frank pointing that camera in his face. Let's go, buddy. Well, we're seeing a lot of improvement here with Asher. If you remember back to the last video, having him calm down, it took what felt to me like 20 minutes, but probably was like a minute in recording like real time. Now we're seeing that happen a lot faster. But there's another thing that we have to point out here. There's an added variable whenever we shoot a YouTube video, and that is Frank and his camera. Right? So because that added variable is there, I don't expect Asher to calm down as much as if that variable wasn't there. So what happens? He comes out of the crate, his energy is higher than it normally is when Frank is not there. If you look at his paw when he comes out, I actually didn't wait until he put his paw on the ground. There's another reason for that. We're in a pretty tight and enclosed area. It's gonna be harder for him to calm down there than when we get outside and we have more space, right? I know that going in, so I let him calm down a little bit, and then we just rush through that tight area to get outside where he can really calm down. Keep those things in mind as you go. Yeah, and I'm happy. I like the way he's looking. Good boy. There's a little bit of extra tension here in this part of the leash. What I'm doing though, I'm not stopping every step because we do want to get to Ashmont, but if he stops responding, and if he tries to pull through the tension, then responding, what I mean by that, every time that I step forward here, you see that line gets long. Not this time, he's looking at the guy yelling down the street. But usually you'll see this line get long. Once the line is long, if I make a little tension, he should rock back like that. You see, so there's no tension here. If I just do a little bit, he should move back. If he's not moving back, if he's not rocking back and slowing himself down, that means he's trying to pull through it. And that's when we definitely have to stop and have him sit. I want to make sure my shoulders are relaxed. Good. There you go. I want to make sure, strong pull. Strong pulls like that cause sit to happen. He's not allowed to sniff on and pee on everything as we go on the walk. It's because the sniffing is a seeking behavior. It is a hunting behavior, and it will get him started on all his other drive behaviors. The peeing is a marking behavior, but it usually follows the sniffing. So if he's not allowed to sniff, he probably won't pee either. Let's go. Are you responding? Good. He's responding pretty good. Off we go. Tight, loose. Tight. See, he kind of rocks back in. Good. That means he is responding to the leash. That took him too long. That whining is the fussing again. Where he's like, I want to go forward. Martin won't let me go forward. This looks good, right? Patiently waiting, then we'll go. Right. Not responding. We have to set up and sit. Avoidance behavior. Waiting for him to pass through that. That's a little fight. His rubbing on me is a little bit of fight. That was a little bit of a stress yawn you guys saw right there, right? And the stress that's a little bit of a fight. He's being pushy, he's bumping on me. That's fussing. This is fussing, right? It looks innocent enough, but that's what it is. He's trying to get me to move, right? And that's not how it works. He has to sit there and be calm. Now you can see the wrinkles on his head are, for the most part, going and coming, but for the most part, they're pretty good. This is a lot different than he was a few days ago. That's a good one. That's what I'm waiting for, right? Nice, responsive, although he gets a little excited and he wants to go back to his 12 to 15 mile an hour walk, he is being responsive to me telling him, hey, slow yourself down. This is a YouTube channel, of course, and we have a goal. You know, we want to make these videos really interesting for you guys. So our goal is to get to Ashmont. But to tell you the truth, Asher's not quite ready yet to be able to walk all the way to Ashmont. He's still pulling a little bit and not responding. He's not relaxing enough with our YouTube setups going on. So really what I should do is I should just stop there. I should have him relax and we should just walk a little bit and then go back in. If he gets really excited, it's because there's a guy yelling down the street or Frank is right there next to him with the camera. In a perfect world, if I see that stimulation, I would want him to calm all the way back down. And then because he learns that he must be calm always when he's moving forward in order for Martin to move forward, then he's gonna start calming himself down more. But the good thing about this video is that sometimes in the training process, you have to take the dog to the vet. You know, you have to do things where you need to move forward. This video kind of shows when those things happen, that you have to do things, that you have to move forward, how to do that the best possible way. You know, but in an ideal and in a training situation, we want him to calm down all the way every time that his energy spikes to a point where he's not listening or he's not sensing the tension on the leash and immediately rocking back. He should slow himself. Good. Good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have him settle himself here. You wanna go forward? Are you ready? You look relaxed. Let's go. Guess you weren't. Guess you weren't relaxed enough. See, this is taking long. I'm not using a lot of energy in order to get him to sit. I'm not using a bunch of force. I'm just using a little bit. As Heather, the one who developed this, says in her book, I think her book is called Heather's Heroes, I forgot. I'll make sure Frank posts it. But as she says in her book, it should be the amount of force or the amount of strength that it takes you to pick up an apple. The same amount of strength that it takes me to pick up an apple is the same amount of strength that I'm using to make tension upwards on this leash. You ready? Okay, let's go. Good. Good. We're not doing that. Good. Good boy. So this is actually a pretty long time for walking for him. He's doing okay. He's slowing down when he should. He's not yanking me around too much. I still am not happy. This is really, his owner is gonna be substantially happy with this. But I'm not happy because I'm not happy until I don't feel any tension on the leash. That's when I become happy about how a dog is walking. All right, so up ahead here, there's some people who are coming. I'm gonna show you on my camera because Frank is in the shot too. But there are people coming. What I wanna do is I wanna be on this side so they could pass on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my spot here and then I'm gonna have him take his spot, which is just like that. That way everybody can pass on the other side. And of course, oh, look at him. He's like, I want to get up. Of course, I have my leash. It's only like 12 inches from my hand to this clip, if that, right? So really, if he's going to jump on somebody, they have to be like right in my personal space in order for him to be able to jump on anybody, right? Oh, there's a dog coming. Down the street here, there's a dog coming. This guy is highly reactive to dogs, right? Kind of have to stay here because I'm waiting for Frank. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move, change position, and we're gonna see how he behaves. I'm right in between the cars. Dog is gonna come right here. There he is. A little woof. A little woof.
and a little bit of excitement here, but this is not anything that's too hard for me to deal with. I'm holding that same tension upward, and I'm asking him to put his butt down, and we hear the fussing, right? We hear him controlling. That's good. Hear him controlling his emotions about that situation right there. Yeah, you're doing good. You can step back on the sidewalk. Most male dogs that are intact, as soon as they see a dog, they feel like they have to pee on everything. I'm not gonna allow him to do that. I'm just gonna step here and wait for Frank, who's having technical difficulties. There are people coming here. They're on both sides of the sidewalk. I'll show you guys what it looks like. We're gonna walk right through. He is excited about her. He likes her. So, yeah, we're gonna settle him down. He needs to settle himself here because he's a little too excited.
Okay, so there's a couple things. You guys saw a lot there since the last time that I showed up. The technique or the methods that I'm using is really developed by this lady here. This is my friend, Heather Beck, and this is her technique. She's actually developing a program to certify trainers to teach her technique. And I'm one of the beta testers for that program. Now, because of that, I am getting a little bit more instruction from Heather directly on this technique. And as I'm watching this video, I notice some little mistakes I'm making. I'm talking to the dog too much. You know, really, the more that I'm watching this video, and this was shot months and months ago, the more that I'm watching it, the more I'm seeing that we're rushing this process ahead. You know, we're going a little bit too fast for Asher. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how did I make the decision to walk through, you know, that group of ladies who were standing. First is I made sure that I had my leash in position. So he could not make it to jump on somebody. He cannot touch. And I made sure that there was enough space for me to get through where he would not be able to touch a person at all. Another thing that you might notice is it looks like I'm kind of pumping on the leash a little bit, but what I'm actually doing is when he's pulling and I'm responding, and then he's stopping the pull, and then I am loosening my hand, right? So that is what is actually happening there. If you have a dog in a similar situation to this, and you're able to set up the situation where you're able to move through pretty easily, then that's great. Otherwise, go around. You know, wait till there's no traffic coming down the street, get off on the street, go around the parked cars and come around. That's gonna be a better way to do it than to put somebody at risk of your dog jumping on them, or to allow your dog to actually make contact with them, which is gonna reward the jumping behavior, make it more likely for later. If you're walking by and your dog is able to jump and actually make contact with the person, that is what the dog was seeking to do. That's why they jumped. And if they make that contact and they were successful, and you know, whenever we're successful at anything we attempt, there is a feeling of accomplishment that comes with that. And that's the reward that the dog is feeling if they make contact with the person, right? Of course, we want to prevent them from making contact. If they do make contact, we want to make tension on our leash and get them off that person as quickly as possible to reduce the effects. But in the ideal imperfect world, a dog might try to jump, and they try to jump, we respond to it, and they don't touch the person at all. They were unsuccessful, and then it's going to be less likely for them to try it the next time. We are almost there, everyone. We're almost there. Today is a trash day. Trash days are harder days for dogs to walk because the smells are everywhere. And they smell every smell. Oh, ho, ho. All right, Frank just started recording. We're gonna head down that way through all those people to work on our public access here. I'm gonna have him just SIT himself back. Good. So that's what we're gonna do. In Ashmont, there's always sirens, there's always noises. That's why I love coming here. is because there's always sirens, there's always noises, there's always strange things. It's a great place for public access because you're gonna see people of all types here. You're gonna see people who are drunk, who are on drugs, who don't have who have mental issues and problems. You're gonna see all of those things as we go. And that's what a dog that's gonna be in public needs to understand, right? What he needs to know is that I am here, and as long as I'm here or his owner is here, nobody's gonna bother him. Not to say that they wanna bother him much anyway. A lot of people are afraid of Dobermans. Here he's not responding well, so I'm gonna restart the phone, right? Now there are doors and things everywhere where people can come out of at any time. So we're gonna be watching for that as we go. Let's go. Excellent. A lot of people are camera shy too, so they're running away from the cameras, which is okay. Good boy. There's a door there. He's pulling a little, so I'm gonna set him up right here. You can see there's a little nervousness. He's nervous about somebody behind me. I'm gonna set him right, good. And just give him a moment. The lady behind is waving at him, so he will look. He might woof at her a little bit here too. But I'm gonna stay here until he basically comes back to paying attention to me. Hey. You ready? Hey, you ready? No, he's not ready yet. All sorts of noises. This is great. You ready? Yeah, he's ready. Excellent.
Okay, so we saw that lady in the background. People like that it makes our training more difficult, but you know what? They're gonna be there. They're gonna be people who are not talking to you and trying to make eye contact and distract your dog. That's gonna happen. For me, the best thing I do is I ignore most of the time, and I just that's just another noise in the environment. It's just another truck squeaking. It's just another car backfiring. It's just another person who's just there. It does make it harder. You see Asher kind of looking over his shoulder and things like that. So from Asher's point of view, if there's somebody behind waving at him, then of course they're gonna be interested. He could tell that her attention is on him. So that's gonna increase energy. There's gonna be some reaction to a person looking at him with strong eye contact, waving at him, and doing all those kind of things, being 6 feet away. Another thing though, if you really watch her body language and if you really watch that lady, she's terrified. She's afraid of the dog. So yeah, if you look at her, she's afraid, and that's okay too. We are in public. But that might be why she's acting, that might be a part of why she's acting that way. Just keep that in mind. Those things happen. Good leash grips make it so he can't make contact, which means he can't jump on, he can't bite, he can't hurt that lady. And good communication means that if he's paying too much attention to her, we have the ability to tell him, I disagree, you should be really paying more attention to me. All sorts of people.
I would look at that cat. That is beautiful.
Yeah, he is a Doberman. You see what I'm saying? People will just yell out at you. Can we pet him, she says. I gotta stop because I'm too excited. All right, I'm gonna have him just set himself down. Nobody pets the dog when we're out. You ready, buddy? You ready? Good. All right, let's go. Good. Too much, not responding well to my leash tension. So I have him set himself down. Oh, there's a dog over there. It's a little pitty. Beautiful dog. And he's on the bus. There's a barking dog somewhere here. I don't know where that dog is. See? He jumps up
I'm gonna say, please settle yourself down. Oh, there he goes. A little bit of excitement, a little woof. I know, right? I don't know where that bark is coming from, but he's looking for it too. I want him to settle himself down before we move forward. I also have to check behind me that I'm not blocking anybody's path. Okay, let's go. Good. Good boy. Making sure that I'm feeling the tension here, making sure that that tension is as light as, oh, too excited. Too excited. Making sure that tension is as light as possible. He's a little too excited and he's pulling a little bit on my leash, so I'm gonna set him here and let him calm himself down. You see the paw? That's in the stress, little bit of a stress yawn there. But look, he settled himself. Oh, you're such a good boy. He settled himself pretty well. Let's go. Excellent. I think she was asking if he was gonna bite her, but he's not gonna bite her. Good boy. And we're through. So we're gonna stop here, and now we just gotta walk back home. So we got through that. That was really good for him. He did pretty well. He did really well. 9 days ago, when I got him, 9 training days ago, he would not be able to do that. And I would not be able to do that with him. So we're seeing the effects of him learning how to calm himself repeatedly. Each time he does, he gets better at it. Okay, let's go. Good. Good boy. That's a little hello to Frank.
So Asher here is a very special and a unique dog. What we have is we have a dog that is bred for working, and a lot of that breeding is in there. So he has a lot of energy. What are Dobermans bred to work? What's their work? Their work is protection, defending and guarding. So you can see he's highly alert. He has energy for that, you know, so he's a little bit physical, he's strong. So that's genetic, right? Another thing about Asher is that, and this is common and it's nobody's fault, but when we have a dog like this, the things that we do with them, they either bring out more of their natural genetics, or the things we do with them kind of teach them to not rely on those genetics as much, right? To not do those things that are genetically they're predisposed to do. In Asher's case, a lot of the things like the jumping and the excitement, we actually train our dogs to do that because we want them to jump on us when we get home. We might not want that, but what we do is we go, "Hi, pup, so good to see you." And we get them really excited and it causes them to jump on us. In other words, we rehearse with them how to get into a higher level of energy and to do that often. So it becomes really easy for them to jump to that. That is a part of what Asher is. I call that previous training. It's not intended training. Nobody wants to make it so their dog is uncontrollable because of their energy level, but that is what actually happens. Now, when I first started with Asher, you remember the first days, the first video, I started talking about playing tug of war with him. That's me bringing on more energy. And I was doing that to engage with him, to bond with him, so that way I could start teaching him communication work. But as I started getting to know him, I started to realize that he's really good at bringing energy, and he gets so stimulated that he can't learn, he can't concentrate, he can't calm down enough for me to be able to teach him. So I basically took 6 training days, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, where we just focused on just teaching him, just working on calming down. You know, we do need to do more work with that, but being a professional trainer, I don't get to keep the dog for 90 days. You know, I only have a certain amount of days where I could work, so I try to do as much as I can in each area. So we got him to be a lot calmer. We got him to be calm enough where like people can move around and he could still look at me and he could still, you know, start to interact. Now, the next step, the next thing I start to do is go back to communication training. Things that we teach in our Super Cycles programs, games, one-step game. I started introducing food again. I started doing all of those things because he had enough emotional control, enough energy control to be able to start bringing himself in and for me to be able to start teaching him. You see, from there, you know, we transitioned to the point where I'm not stopping as much, where I don't even have to hold the leash. Because he was able to bring his energy down enough and know how to monitor that at least a little bit or enough for me to communicate and teach him what he needed to do. And then you see him actually being able to maintain energy enough to be able to actually do those things. That's a big deal. If you want to see all the steps, by the way, we do have our YouTube channel membership where you'll be able to get in there. It's a few bucks a month. You could just jump in, watch all 20 of the Asher videos that I recorded when he was with me. You'll be able to see all 20 of those and you'll be able to see day by day how he transitions. If you're done, after you're done with that, you could just end your subscription or you could continue to support the channel. But if you're curious about that, that is a way to see every little step that we do that is not going to be recorded on these YouTube videos. All right. In episode 4, what we really do is we take a bunch of stuff that we recorded, that Frank recorded, and that didn't make it into the videos, and we start to discuss those a little bit and show those a little bit, so that way you guys could get a better idea. If you have comments or questions, you know what the comments are for. You know what the comment section is for. Drop them in there. Hit that thumbs up. Definitely get your notifications by hitting the bell, and please support the channel. The more that you share this, the more that you comment with us, the more encouragement it gives us to make more of these videos. So if you like them, don't just sit and be silent, because we will stop making them just because we think nobody's watching. All right, so till next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your dog. There he is. Hi, I see your face. So this is the glamorous life of a YouTuber. Sitting there like I have nothing else to do while Frank gets B-roll. And this is what it is. I'm just sitting here the whole day. I'm hungry. Frank, are you gonna buy me food? You should buy me food. If I have to do all this, you should buy me food.